My name's Arnold with Rocky Coast Builders. We are a concrete and framing company. We're out here at San Diego Community College District ECC Theatre, doing a prime trade contract out here, performing the concrete scope. So cement is a admixture or a component of concrete. Concrete's a final product made up of a lot of different admixtures and ingredients. It's kind of like cookies. Cement is just the flour, but you need the sugar and the eggs and everything else. It starts off as a paste, and all these dry ingredients get added and mixed in, and then water's added into the mix. And that introduction of water to the cement specifically causes a chemical reaction that turns the cement to like a glue. And then that glue grabs all the aggregates and the coarse and the fine aggregates and binds it together. One thing that probably people wouldn't realize about concrete is like all the design and components that go into it, whether it's the admixtures in the concrete. I mean, even as far as how much cement you add versus how much fly ash you add versus how much, fine aggregate versus coarse aggregate, the strength that is required. It's not just, water, sand, cement, mix it together, it's wet and it gets hard. There's just a lot of moving parts in concrete that maybe you wouldn't expect. Concrete, for the most part, is made of water, fine aggregates, which is usually sand, and small aggregate up to a ½ inch. And then your coarse aggregate, which can go all the way up to 1.5 inch rocks, is cement. Cement's the most important one. And then there's chemical admixtures that make the concrete set faster. There's admixtures that make the concrete set slower. There's admixtures that are called superplasticizers, which allows you to, we'll use the word wet up the concrete to make it more finish friendly without introducing too much water, which introducing too much water can have side effects with like shrinkage. So there's lots of different admixtures. They all play a role dependent on like its usage and its needs. And there's probably 100 different types of admixtures that I haven't listed. In my opinion, the biggest challenge with concrete is you get one shot to do it right. Not to downplay wood framing or metal stud framing for like a wall. If you put the door or the window in the wrong spot, that's okay. Tomorrow we'll just move the studs around and we'll just put the door where it goes. With concrete, is about forming the mold and then pouring it in place, and you get one shot, because once it's hard or once you've started placing the concrete, there's no redos. The redo is once you strip it and realize that you did something wrong, then the option is to demo, completely start over and redo it again. So this is a slab, and like down there, those are columns, and then what the guys are setting up down there are footings. Those are different things, and the structural engineer figures out the different strengths that he needs for his different components. And so let's just say footings need to be a 3,000 PSI. That means the concrete needs to set and gain strength at 28 days. It needs to reach 3,000 PSI. And the way they do that is when we pour, they take little cylinders of concrete, then they take it off to the lab. And it sits in the lab, and then they put it in a crusher, and it crushes, and it tells them, hey, it crushed at 2,500 PSI. Okay, well, it hasn't reached strength yet. When they crush it, if it didn't hit 3,000, well, then the concrete didn't reach its design strength, and there could be a potential issue with the concrete. What makes concrete so sustainable is it's probably its lifespan. Over a course of a couple hundred years, with concrete, you'd only have to build the school 2 times or 3 times, but if you're using other methods, you might have to build it 4 times or 5 times. When it's demoed, like this job, where it's been poured with concrete years past, and now they're coming in and demoing, it gets taken to the plant, it gets broken up, and then they use it for like roadway base. And then more concrete gets poured on top of that roadway base. If you build a building out of concrete, it's gonna retain and push back. So then like your HVAC and your electrical consumption should be less than wood framed or metal framed, and concrete's the coolest construction component ever. But anyways.